Failure. It's a common occurrence in life. Many times we'll meet it face to face throughout our lifetimes, whether it be something as small as placing last in a free-for-all Modern Warfare 2 lobby, or as big as SpaceX's recent Starship 36 crash. As much as we hate it, it's always going to rear its ugly head at us at several different points in our life. And I, like every other person on this earth, have dealt with my fair share of failure. I've seen a lot of it. Failing to meet homework deadlines, failing to make it to work on time, failing to advance in college after investing a large sum of money and learning absolutely nothing. Just failure, failure, failure. But one thing I didn't mention is that failure likes to affect us in many different ways through its various forms. Some failures, well, on the real side of things, might not mean the most significance in a literal sense, can, at the same time, be so crushing to some. If you watch my previous video, a 10-minute rant, then you probably know what type of failures affect me the most personally. That being the failures I make on this channel. I would personally consider myself to be a pretty right-brained person. When I'm not trying to combat the shitstorm inside my head that is my mental instability, the next most likely thing that's going on inside of it is likely something creative related. My brain is kind of like an idea factory. I'm always coming up with creative things and different ideas for different things that might seem interesting and or entertaining to either myself or others. This comes with a catch though. Typically a lot of the ideas that I come up with don't tend to actually make it out into on some form of digital paper sheet. I'd estimate that probably like 80 to 90% of the ideas I come up with don't usually go any further than outside of my brain. Typically, this is where the most failure occurs, inside of my head. But on the flip side, these failures are always the least damaging of all the ones that I go through, since no actual work goes into it. No gain, no pay. Next, though, we move on to the ideas that do manage to make it out. Typically, the next thing that happens is they usually go onto an idea board that I have saved on my phone. Anything that I come up with that I think I could make work or really just want to pursue get written down into this list that I have. Here's a look at the list actually. It's pretty long with a lot of stuff. And some of these ideas have been completed. Throw away your worries, for example. I posted that quite a while ago. Now, even here, some ideas also don't really make it out. Or I guess in this case, never really get started. Could be for a variety of reasons, but mainly it all depends on what I feel like working on at whatever time. But what I want to highlight is the ideas that do make it out of here and onto an actual Google Doc. These ideas are typically the ones that I put the most time and effort into. A fair amount of these ideas I actually put work into do make it onto the recording stage, but some of them don't. This one, for example, titled Helping Those in Need, it's currently about half finished. The video is a message geared towards people who are considering unaliving themselves, but as you can see, it's currently unfinished. Just one of those ones that I haven't really gotten around to recently. In fact, I haven't even touched it in like 4 or 5 months. These, I won't lie, are a little crushing, but knowing that it's something that I didn't quit because I was unhappy with, at least gives me a little reassurance that, hey, maybe I'll get back to this at some point. However, these two videos in specific, how to build up consistency and why old YouTube was better, tell completely different stories. Both of these are fully completed and finished, yet have not made it onto the recording stage. And the reason for that is because I am not happy with either of these videos. And unfortunately, being unhappy with the work you've created combined with being a perfectionist is not really a good combo. It's ideas like these that are easily the most crushing failures to have to stomach. Something that I spent literal hours of my time on, not seeing the light of day, really just fucking sucks. And ideas that end up like this are the reasons why I have so many upload gaps and made my previous 10-minute rant video. These genuinely destroy my confidence and completely dwindle my drive to be creative. And the worst part is, the more videos that I write, the more likely this is gonna happen. But guess what? At the end of the day, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how much work you put in, no matter how much of a perfectionist you are, there's always going to be a chance that you make something you're not happy with. And it's in accepting that simple fact where you're going to make progress. Nothing's ever perfect, and some stuff is certainly worse than others. But at the end of the day, shit just happens. The best thing you can do when you end up with a product you're not happy with is just highlight the positives. Learn from what you did wrong and overall just take a terribly finished product and end up making some kind of progress out of it. Just read it over, look deeply at the likes and dislikes, then learn from your mistakes. Because at the very least, you're making something out of it rather than nothing. And another piece of advice I'd like to highlight is this comment that Calling Me Crazy, great guy, go check out his channel, left on my 10-minute vent video. It's pretty long, but I'll just sum it up to this. Essentially, he's suggesting that you have to be okay with making something bad. With the amount of videos that I want to make, there's always going to be bad videos. And you should just upload them and let them sit. And when you decide to look back on them, you should notice the mistakes and just find ways to improve them. And I totally agree with it. Like I said, you gotta take your shit product and make the most out of it, since it's the only path to improvement and it's the only way you're gonna make something out of it. And yes, before you say it, I know, if you're a perfectionist, very hard. But once again, shit's just gonna happen, and you gotta make the best out of it. Anyways, that's all for today's follow-up perfectionism rant. At least it ended up being a more organized rant this time, right? Before I go, I'll advertise my inbox, ThatKillerGary@gmail.com. Always looking for questions to answer in a future video. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys.